Right. So, in-game, suck or slap. I'm not even really sure if this is a suck or slap thing.
Yeah.
And when you're thinking about what's the point of a movie review, it's to let the person know if they should go see it. And this is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Are you invested in the MCU or not? If you are, go see it, no context. If you aren't, don't bother. No context.
Yep.
And that no context means two different meanings. It's like, if you see it without having been invested, you're going to lack so much context that makes it meaningful in any way whatsoever.
Yep.
It's a big comic booky superhero spectacle, at least at the end it is. But everything that's happening is basically just a bunch of Marvel movie fan service. Like, this is Avengers Steel Ball Run. Yep. This is just, I mean, if you've seen the other movies, this is thanks y'all for supporting us. Mm-hmm. Hope it was a fun ride. And it feels very definitive. I can't, and it's hard to say if it sucks or slaps, because I think as a movie, it's not very good. Because I think it's too long. I don't think it's very well paced. There are some scenes that just kind of seem to drag, like 2 Thor scenes in particular. When he's trying to get himself motivated for one thing, and then another scene where it's like his reveal, if you know what I'm talking about, it just kind of feels like it drags. It definitely feels like the movie didn't need to be 3 hours long. It wasn't a bursting at the seams 3 hours. It was a 3 hours that felt like kind of a little bit of a deflated ball. I was like, there's you didn't need all this room for all this air. But if you're invested, if you've been invested, there's no reason to not go see it. Yep. And you'll love it. Like, whether it's a good movie or not, whether it sucks or slaps or not, you're going to love it if you've been invested. And if you haven't been invested, you're going to think, what? This is just stupid. Like, what's going on? Like, and what I think is interesting, so there's a couple points I did want to bring up. This is going to be a very short one, but this is the most comic book movie. This is the most comic book movie that there's ever been made in live action, as far as I'm concerned. Like, nothing else comes close. Into the Spider-Verse is probably just as, if not more. But, like, this movie is very much about, don't worry about the details, which I think is funny, because early MCU was very concerned about the science and explaining how things worked.
Yeah. But now they're expecting everyone to already...
Well, yeah, it just the priorities have changed. Now, because it's not as much about the technology in the world, it's now about the characters. So, I can't talk about anything without spoiling it, and I don't want to spoil it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, chances are, by the time this video goes out, if you've been invested, you have seen it. But I'm not going to assume something like that and just spoil something for someone. But you really can't talk about any part of this movie without spoiling something. But the fact is, there's some things that feel like they merit more explanation, that they almost just say, dude, just don't worry about it. Just enjoy the ride. And enjoy the characters. Enjoy their character arcs coming to an end. Like, this movie is an ending for all of the other movies. Like, you could even though we're going to have Black Panther 2 and Spider-Man 2 and Guardians 3, it feels like Guardians 1 and 2, Spider-Man 1, Black Panther 1, it feels like they were leading to this. And anything after Endgame is almost like Black Panther 2 is almost going to be like a reboot, in a way, like a soft reboot, is how it feels to me. Maybe not Guardians 3 so much. Even though everything's going to be affected by Endgame. Endgame feels like an ending to everything that's come before it. To the point where I'm almost like, I'm not going to be as invested now. It's going to be like, I'll go see Guardians 3 because I want to see it because I liked the first 2. Mm-hmm. But I saw Guardians 1 because I was invested in the other movies. Like, Guardians 1 was very much like, who are these guys? And it's like, well, I don't know, they're in the same universe as Iron Man and Captain America, so I guess I care.
For me, I feel like initially that's why I went to go see Guardians, but then it turned into, like, one of my favorites. So.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, I was saying the initial reason for me to do that. Like, the reason for me to go see yet another Spider-Man reboot was because, well, now this one's connected to the one with the Avengers. So that's why I care about it. But yeah, Black Panther 2 I'll go see, of course, because I liked Black Panther 1.
Yep.
And I'd probably go see it anyway. But it's not... They're not building towards anything. Which I think is kind of good. Like, I really like the idea of anything that happens after this being a comic booky, swashbuckling adventure type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the MCU... And now that it has smartly ended with Endgame, a lot of it has ended with Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, be prepared. Stuff is over.
Yeah.
Like,
done.
The big main stuff is like, it feels so over. Like, there's so much closure. And it's like...
They did
some of it you're not ready for. Oh, yeah, they did it very well. See, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it might be a mystery to people who are just hearing us talk about this, but we didn't really love Infinity War. Not exactly. I think I wanted Infinity War to be a movie. This is another point I wanted to make, but I wanted Infinity War to be a good movie. Infinity War is not a good movie. Infinity War is...
half.
And Infinity War is the a partial ending of a TV series. And I wanted it to be a complete movie, and it's not. So when you're expecting a good movie, and it's not even trying to be a movie, you're going to be dissatisfied. And generally, I don't care for that. Like, I don't want that to become a thing. I think it's been a terrible detriment to DC and the things they're attempting. Because I think DC just doesn't... They're not doing the right things that Marvel's doing.
I feel like Marvel is allowed to do something like that.
Now, and, well, you say allowed.
Okay, but because there's so many more people that are invested in that universe than there are in DC movies currently. DC's not allowed to do that. Yeah. Marvel is allowed to, but I just kind of wish...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think every Star Wars movie has a concise beginning, middle, and end that introduces and establishes its characters, and they have complete character arcs that start and stop.
Right.
So... The MCU is different from Star Wars. The MCU is really different from absolutely everything that has come before it, and that's why I'm thinking, yo, we ended it. Like, we stopped it before things got bad. Like, it.
Well, things got bad, but then.
No. I mean, as far as like quality, before we made like bad movies, we stopped it, and it's complete now, and no one can take that from them. And I hope they don't take that from themselves in some way later on. Like, I hope there isn't a dredging up of the things that are ended. Like, there's plenty of characters that I'm excited to see where they go next.
Yes.
But there's plenty of characters where it's like, don't ever bring them back. Please, I beg of you, don't ever bring them back. And I'm not saying if it's because they're dead or otherwise. Like, just in no way. Like, you can reference them, of course. Because it was kind of a big deal. They were superheroes, and now we don't have them anymore. But, yeah, man. Fantastic ending. Don't ruin it. It was such a fantastic ending that it improved previous movies for me. It
also
made me like Dark World more, which I think was not bad, but very mediocre. It made me like Infinity War more, which I think is not a very good movie. But it brings... closure and context to the complete and utter unfinished story that Infinity War is.
Closing statement. If you're going to watch this movie, don't drink too much and bring tissues. Bring tissues.
Yeah. You only want to be leaking out of one side of your body.
Yeah. Because...
in the theater.
There's a good portion of the beginning of the movie where you have a couple opportunities to go to the bathroom, but like the last hour and a half.
Well, I would say the last 45 minutes of this movie cannot be missed from start to finish.
Right.
They stop, like, you're done. Like, this, you have to survive these last 45 minutes nonstop. Like, because it's an endless just cramming information into everyone. And it gets, there's some parts that I definitely missed and were like convoluted and are just like, I'm going to have to see this again to know everything that was going on. But, this movie's credits. Not the after credits scene, but the credits.
I have no idea what's going on with that.
We can talk about that later.
Okay.
I won't talk about it here, but there is an after the credits thing that is simply an audio cue that hints at something. And I hope it doesn't hint at that, because it would be disappointing to me. But the animated credits thing that they'll normally have, which Infinity War didn't have, which was smart. Mm-hmm. It was good to not have it at the end of that one. But the big animated, Chris Evans, and it shows Captain America throwing the shield in slow motion. The way they do that in this one, it was just like...
It was very...
Yeah, we're a whole franchise just...
and just...
Yeah, we're a whole franchise full of rock stars who've done all these awesome things that you're going to remember and cherish forever. Mm-hmm. Just it was such a good final bow for all of the performers, because Infinity War did not really have everyone. Endgame does have everyone. It actually delivers on the promise that people were totally lying about Infinity War delivering on. But yeah, God, the way this... I don't want to just start gushing, but the way this movie starts is so good. Mm-hmm. And in the first 10 minutes, within the first 10 minutes, you're like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, which is really exciting. Yeah. Because it's you'd think, I know some way that this is going to end, and you don't. Of course. Yes. Okay, let's wrap this up. One more thing. I would actually recommend going into a packed theater, because the audience experience was fantastic for this. And I think it's funny how this big, weird, strange comic book thing that isn't even a full story, this big fighting a giant purple man and with a green man and all this other just bizarre stuff going on, and there's so many just normal people. It's not a niche. It's so weird that this thing isn't a niche. It's super not. If you're not into the MCU, you're actually on the outside. You're actually the niche. Yep. Just going into that theater and seeing all the different kinds of people, all the different ages, old people actually going in there who know who Thanos is. Imagine that. These people who were, 40 before the first Thanos comic was written. Just that was really cool, I thought. And it's the parts where everyone was quiet, and then the parts where everyone was cheering, and then the parts where you could hear all the dudes holding back sniffles. Yeah. You could hear people really crying. And then there was some stoic dudes sitting there just you can absolutely tell oh man. It was taking everyone on the big roller coaster ride. But yeah. Does it suck or slap? Well, are you invested? Slaps. Are you not? Definitely not for you.
Yeah, not for you. It doesn't suck, but it's not, I don't think...
And I won't say if that's a good thing or bad thing. I personally don't prefer that. I really like I really like stories that you can just jump in and get all the enjoyment in the span of the film.
Yeah, but I also really like fan service, so...
Yes, I love that. This is such a weird, bizarre thing that has happened. And I'm fine with it ending here. Even ending with the MCU. I'm fine with there not being another thing similar to the MCU. I don't think anything else could recapture the magic.
Nope.
So, yeah. See y'all next time.